Folks, welcome back to the campaign. Air's Ugly Mug here, and I wanted to start things out by taking the time to appreciate Maddie. Maddie took the time not just to leave an insult in the comments, like I so often allow you to do, but took the time to insult several parts of me, so it really completed the experience. And whenever I've been gone for a while from the campaign, because I recorded a whole bunch of episodes at once, and here I am recording again, I appreciate coming back and seeing this. He says I have a face like a pickled onion nose, squashed tomato, a pickled onion face, a nose like a squashed tomato, and legs like tree trunks. You see the coverage there? Maddie, that was fantastic. Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time to leave such an uplifting and thorough comment there in the way that I needed you to. So that's how you come through right there. That's how you come through. Anyway, thank you, everybody. It is good to be back. It has been a while since I recorded. I was actually going to record last night, so I'm a little bit behind on where I wanted to be here, but I was helping a new neighbor move in, and holy crap, it was hot. I sweat more than Grom at a buffet of, like, all spicy food, and all-you-can-eat buffet, I might add, right? So, I mean, it was bad. I mean, I was absolutely roasted. I'm still feeling I'm like super tired today, but you know, it's all right. We're gonna be all right. Little work's good for me. Remind me that I'm a desk jockey and that I need more exercise. All right, so I want to keep things rolling. We're doing pretty good money-wise. I think that some of the biggest problem we have right now is just kind of being split between a bunch of wars. We had to go up and defend Marienburg. Lewin's army now, though, could potentially push. It's just that the vampires are now hanging out in a fort. So what we're going to do is move right here into these woods and make Marienburg look like it is open for business. And we'll see whether we can lure those vampires down from their stinking fort. I really don't need Nakari to come play. I mean, he can just sail home, please. None of that kind of nonsense needed. I am camped out really close to Morghur here with the hope that he won't see me, and perhaps we can pick up and kill Morghur's army on a turn. And it's not a very good army, and he's costing me a lot of raid money over time, which has been pretty intensely frustrating, so we'll keep an eye on that situation. This army, I really need to start adding units to it. Because we're probably going to end up at war with Mazdamundi, but I'm going to try and wait a few more turns still, if at all possible. I'm going to go ahead and wait on outposts and upgrades and all that kind of stuff and get a few more comments here. Our prophet Bat Senshi says, Dath says they have an accord to trade, or I'm guessing maybe Dath here. Do you keep your civic or trade it for door number 2?
Only the Grail companions of all could hope to best
Senshi,
yet
you're the best. I mean, can anybody argue with the words of wisdom from our Bat Prophet? I don't think we can. Oh wow, Count Noctilus joining in to the endless wars here. I mean, good gravy. We've got World Warhammer 3 going on now. Ryan Phillips said you should be recruiting allied units, and indeed we can, to an extent. Really, the vampires had to come and help the greenskins out? I mean, talk about annoying. It says they're gonna beat me. I actually don't think they are. They did get the Red Duke back. I think he died like 3 seconds ago, but they've already got him back. And they picked up a Mortis engine. Man, it's freaking annoying turds. Bunch of butt crack. Ugh. Hate these guys so much. Our ambush got foiled. That sucks. Let's try it again. Can't get foiled forever. Ambusher discovered. Well, okay, so the turn-in didn't go exactly as we would have hoped. Alright, Morghur's stuck out here. He has nowhere to retreat to, but sometimes the game lets him retreat through you, which is pure nonsense, but hopefully we can catch him here. If anything, maybe we can knock him out of that raiding stance. Right, no, we got him. So let's put this guy in for a dirt nap. Battle's underway. Morghur, I guess, is under some kind of impression that he doesn't have to attack, and unless he's wielding a Cygor, I'm not really sure where he gets that impression, so I'll go ahead and use the somewhat useless trebuchet that's in this army to kill a few of his gore herds, and see if we can convince him that he really ought to be moving forward rather than sitting on his duff. But I mean, I suppose if he wants to sacrifice a couple of gore herds for the greater good, then I'm happy to oblige their death. I'll get one of your comments here. Lord Crowstaff made sure to point out that instead of the War of Errantry, it's actually the War of Errantry. So H-E-I-R at the beginning. So well said. I hadn't thought of that. I probably should change the thumbnails. It would be more appropriate. And let's see here. Let me get some more comments. We had some good ones. Francesco, thank you for being such a long-time channel member and supporter, by the way. He says, great battles, keep it up. Well, thank you. We have had a lot of battles in this one. I even got to show a battle. I don't know if you all saw the battle on my channel recently, where I was playing as Lewin versus all the forces in Nurgle. That actually came from the practice campaign that I played off-screen before I did this one. So yeah, that one was a good battle too. There's a lot of good battles in both. Bretonnia is honestly pretty fun. Like they're a pretty fun faction to play, and there's a few good options with them because of Lewin, Faye, Rapans, and Alberic. Like you've got some different locations, good options. I feel like Bretonnia, other than just maybe needing a little bit more roster, is in pretty good shape, considering that they were a free faction. Let's see, Alan, it's good to see you here. I know you've been a long-time channel supporter as well. Says really enjoyed that episode. Great progress. Well, thank you. Appreciate you being here. Barbarians are us again. Thank you for being a long-time channel member. Says, by the lady, many peasants were fed into the meat grinder this day. There in the trees, the rivers, stuck to the bottom of Grom's chariot. It's just an absolute bloodbath. Yeah, there was bound to be many casualties with Grom being in the vicinity. There's no two ways around that. I'm gonna see if we can go ahead and stomp these Tuskor chariots and that Feral Manticore. If we can go ahead and put those in to the dirt, that would be good. Apparently Morghur's still under the impression that he does not have to go on the offensive. The one thing that is offensive about him is his smell and appearance, much like me. So I guess Morghur and I share some traits there. Go ahead and buff the melee attack of my paladin. See if we can finish that fight a little faster. My Grail Knights are going to absolutely crush this Tuskor chariot. I don't know what all the glowing's going on there, but is that touched by the moon? Okay, some kind of magic. They're getting annihilated. As well they should. Grail Knights, I really like where Grail Knights and Grail Guardians are these days. They used to have more entities and be a whole lot less powerful, and honestly, they just were sometimes feeling like they weren't worth it. So I feel like CA did them right, and I'm really happy to see where they've gotten Grail Guardians and Grail Knights too in the game. I feel like that they're very much in a good position in terms of they make sense, right? There's a reason why you pay for them, and they are very good at what they do, which is cool because they're elite, and they should be good at what they do. So I think they're in a good spot. I like it. I'm a big fan. I'm gonna do this, except I'm gonna deselect trebuchets and Grail Knights like that. There we go. I'm gonna hard group and give an AI charge here. Kind of let my forces move forward. I'm going to go after that giant with the Grail Knights. And on this flank, I'm just going to go flying into those Chaos Spawn. Alright, there we go. Good charge. Right up the center. I'm going to do a little bit of heals here because Morghur's in the vicinity. And then I'm going to drop a bit of destruction on those. There we go. I need my Paladin back over here, and then we've got the damsel over here. Let's use some of her magic to thin out the herd over here. I guess not a pun intended, but it works out well, thinning out the herd when we are fighting the herd. So I'll take it. Take what I can get where I can get it. I'm gonna come in over here with the damsel and get into a little bit of combat. Use Whistle's Wild Form on some of those cavalry. Buff them up a little bit. The Fae is helping to cut through the center here. The cavalry, of course, adds a lot of hard-hitting depth to our otherwise somewhat lackluster infantry line. Man, those Grail Knights perform well against the Giant. Giants are tough. They can cause a lot of damage in return. So I feel like that's That's definitely a strength they have now, is when they have more entities, it's a little harder for the giant to just kill a bunch of their entities and make them weaker near instantly. Alright, we are going to need to get rid of Morghur. I have this Grail Guardian here. I'll use it to help mop him up. Alright, Grail Guardian, let's move in for the kill. I have a Questing Knight getting a little bit chewed up here, so I'm going to pull it out. And yeah, that fight's about to finish up. Let's bring our Paladin over. Did I just hear Krothgar? Oh, it's my Sara Spears. I was like, what? Who's talking about Krothgar? Okay, I had a Questing Knight that's, yeah, a little bit thrashed. Let's try and pull that one out of that fight. And Paladin, you swing over. Let's see if we can finish off business here. Let's get on those Chaos Spawn. Spawn are not going to go away, and my Catapult is going to be getting me killed. Do a little bit of heals here. Swing in some extra help. And go after Morghur. Morghur's trying to get away. He's kind of getting knocked out of the fight. So I will pursue him with Grail Knights. He counts as a small entity, though, so we won't pick up a bonus, unfortunately. But we can pin him in here. We'll get Foot Squires after him as well. That might help dish some damage into him faster. I think he's healing, too. I want to make sure that we get him dead. That way, if his army's able to retreat and recoup some of their losses here, that we will not have to fight Morghur again and all of his stupid spawn. So there we go. Looks like we are going to finally get rid of him. So Grom and Morghur down for the count. Just the Red Duke back from the dead already. But I guess that makes sense because he's a vampire. That's irritating. I managed to get a Questing Knight and a Foot Squire killed. So not so well done on my part, but whatever. We got rid of Grom, or sorry, not Grom, Morghur, so that's something. Pyrrhic Strategos says, Grom the Glutton, for both bad food and for punishment. Yes, and thank you for being a channel supporter for so long. He is indeed a glutton that we can all look up to. I, like Grom, also have an insatiable appetite and enjoy eating pretty much everything that exists. Let's take a look at things here. I think I'm going to actually swap over into another Grail Knight. I don't see Guardians here for some reason. Wouldn't they be available in the same building? That's kind of strange. I'm going to go ahead and grab another Grail Knight. And then we lost a Foot Squire, but let's be honest, we should have another Grail Knight, and we have the money for it, so let's go ahead and pop a couple more Grail Knights in there. I do kind of like the Trebuchet in terms of like being able to force people to attack. Otherwise, it's kind of weak and doesn't really serve a ton of purpose, but I feel like I'll put up with it just for sake of. We need to do a pledge to Manon, because it'll be easy to win a battle at sea. Speaking of, let's go look at all of our vows real quick. So we finished all the vows with Alberic. We have to defeat a certain legendary lord there. Troth of Protection. This one appears to not be working. This is one of the ones that looks like it's bugged out from the Confederation. Some of them seem to do that in both this campaign and my practice one. So some of our characters will just not be able to complete vows, annoyingly. We might be able to just recruit a new one instead, but then you'd have to start leveling them up again. Let's go with Pledge to Manon again, because with the Pledge to Manon, you can just go win like an island battle. Pledge to Chivalry, and you can pretty much take care of those. Alright, so we got all our vows settled. Let's go and get the skill points handled. Finish Earthblood here. And then let's finish... the Curse of Honor Air is actually pretty helpful. And there we go, Woundmaker, and that's all of our unit, or sorry, it's all of our upgrades for characters that we need to take care of. Skill points, I should say. These guys are not within reinforcement range of their friends, and it bumped me back into friendly territory on the retreat. So the Red Duke, on the other hand, started taking attrition for not being in vampiric territory. So we've got a chance to mop up the Red Duke here as well. The battle is getting underway. The vampires can't do anything about range. And I'm going to go harass them, but basically I'm going to take all my pole arms and I'm going to stick them in triple deep lines where the vampires can't get around my flanks, and hopefully use that against them. The vampires are not advancing, which is an odd decision indeed. Odd in the sense that they don't have any... Well, they don't have any missiles. They're wasting their heals there too. I've got two characters up in the air that should be able to best that Terrorgeist, and there's really nothing the vampires can do to reinforce it. So I'm gonna go for that Terrorgeist. I'm gonna try and like surround it and hit it from both sides all at once. And I've got a couple of stat buffs that we can use here, like the speed here. Hit it and hit it. And then when both these units get in, there we go, we hit from the flank. We should be able to stay after this guy. I'm gonna keep charging it in the back here, try and pin him between two units. We should, like I said, we should be able to best that Terrorgeist quite easily. Let's see if we can go get the attention of these Black Knights too. So yeah, the vampires made a huge mistake here. Basically just handing me the Terrorgeist. That is not what they should have done. Terrorgeist is tough though, it's getting some hits in here. As I would have expected, but I'm gonna keep charging it from both sides. Okay, yeah, our cavalry came up too far, too far, too far. Crap, the Hex Wraiths have frostbite. Run, Forest, run. Run. Crap, we just got frostbitten. Oh, we're gonna get chewed up if we stick around. Alright, I'm gonna try and get away from that just a little farther. That sucks though, we're gonna take some damage. Oh, we got the Terrorgeist down. And Black Knights, yeah, I mean, it definitely sucks some of the damage we're gonna have to take on one of these units, but we've got to continue stringing out these enemies back closer to our main lines. Frostbite on Hex Wraiths is really cool. It sucks for me at this moment, but I mean, it really is cool. Oh, speaking of advantages, look at this. I got magic attacks on one of my characters, so I'm gonna dump these. I'm gonna absolutely dumpster these Hex Wraiths. Boy, they are chewing apart my Knights of the Realm, and understandably so. They are well poised to do that since they have all that AP. All right, I'm gonna come in, take this guy out. All right, yeah, we completely dumpstered the Hex Wraiths with the magic attacks there. Gonna buff our units, and we've now trapped the White King. And we've also got this Vargulf in a really bad spot. We don't have armor piercing on Knights of the Realm, but we do have anti-large, and the Vargulf basically has no armor. It's basically just him and his butt crack exposed to the elements, and it's not going to end well. That White King is tough, and he's going to be a pretty tough character to take down, but the vampires are losing big time now. They've lost leadership units, they've lost specialty units like those Hex Wraiths, they lost the Vargulf, which is a really great single entity damage dealer, and it heals too, and they kind of blew that one early. Man, speaking of White King, I have a White King that I painted. I don't know if y'all have Twitter. I'll try and post it on my YouTube community page if y'all want to go check it out, but I actually painted a White King miniature for the tabletop. Man, it's awesome. It is really a sweet miniature. I bet the vampires had a lot of nice units. I have some Hex Wraiths as well that I painted for the tabletop. I think I'll put a picture of both those up. They're pretty cool. I have some Hex Wraiths and the other units. Let's see if we can get these Black Knights interested. Yeah, all these units are kind of going to be tired down a little, so let's let them rest just a little bit. And then my Lord has taken a fair bit of damage here, which is not great. But honestly, I think we should just bring our polearms up at this point and just go engage the vampires at the polearms and then just finish them. So no reason not to. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward, let my units rest up some. I need to get a Damsel, Lore of Life, into this army to do some healing. As we get through our vows, though, too, we'll be able to put better knight units in here. But I'm going to tinker with this army a little bit in terms of having these high melee defense halberds. They're really not good in terms of damage. They do a pretty good AP, but their damage is really low. Their attack's really low, but they do have really stout melee defense, and if you buff these units properly, they can be quite effective. Okay, let's pull up our main line and go ahead and give the vampires a long line of pokey death that they don't really have an advantage against in any way, shape, or form. We're gonna go after the Mortis engine with any magic damage that we have. Look at that. Vampires just go YOLO with the Black Knights. And here comes the Red Duke. Who has my magic attacks? My lord? Okay. I'm gonna go for the Red Duke, and I'm gonna pin him from the other direction with the unit of Knights of the Realm, and then we're gonna come over here, and then I'm gonna go after this Mortis engine. Go after that corpse cart back there. Yep, alright, so the vampire's in a very, very bad spot here.
My blade is yours. Righteous fury.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna put that White King back in the dirt. And the corpse cart's gonna get run down. It's just too slow to get away. That Mortis engine is not dying nearly so quick as I could have hoped here. I might send some reinforcements at it. Let's come and pin it from this direction. The Red Duke's about to go, though, and that's really going to be the end of this army. Man, that's quite an effort by the Mortis engine. I'm impressed. Speaking of Mortis engine, it's slightly different, but the Black Coach tabletop miniature, I have not painted that one, but I was at a local store that sells hobby stuff, including Warhammer, not too long ago, and the lady who ran the shop had painted the Black Coach, and oh my gosh, it was spectacular. And she did such a good job on it. Really awesome miniature. Alright, Red Duke down. It may let him get away, since he hadn't retreated already. That would be disturbing and angering. Yep, they are going to let him get away. So we're going to have to pursue him further, because apparently being dead doesn't mean dead. And I know some people would be like, he's a vampire. I know, but it's still annoying. It's still annoying. Alright, so Red Duke Part 2 is now settled, and just like the original feature, he was nothing special. I can't quite reach Bordeleaux to re-siege it on this turn, but I can get back to Aquitaine and probably get some good replenishment done so that I can go smack down Bordeleaux. The next turn, we're doing our recruiting with the Fae. We have a skill point here. We picked up our Hippogriff, I noticed, with this lord. So I'm definitely glad to have that. Let's see here. The Bretonnian Vow autocomplete mod fixed the troth issue for me. Oh, okay, this is a comment from John. He says the Bretonnia Vow autocomplete mod fixed the troth issue. I believe it does it based on character levels, but you can still do it manually for your other characters. Interesting. Thank you for the tip. I may have to do that in order to fix that, because that's clearly some kind of bug or something that's happening whenever you confederate, or at least it seems like it. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but it definitely seems like that is the case. So appreciate the tip and call out on the mod.
Lord.
Whew, all right. Well, it feels like we are trying to get back in the driver's seat here after a whole lot of annoying raids. We're hiding once again to see if we can catch the vampires off guard. They've got this Blackstone Pass, though, where they're going to be able to just continue to churn out undead legions. So that is a problem that we're going to need to solve at some point. Alberic is over here kicking the trash out of the Druchi, Rakarth specifically at the moment, and we have taken the Great Turtle Isles with the exception of the Sentinels of Zeddy. So we should go ahead and take control of that settlement. Chamber of Visions is closer to the enemy, so I'll go ahead and roll that upgrade there. So let's go attack the Sentinels of Zeddy. This army still has a lot of Knights Errant in it, which are not ideal, but I mean, they're still pretty capable against what we're fighting here. And speaking of fight, let's go take care of this one. I have hidden my Knights in the woods. I'm going to use the Green Knight, because we have him in this army, and I'm going to push him forward into the settlement. and try and like draw fire with him, and I'm gonna use my heals and stuff to support it. I do have, like I said, my other knights hidden throughout the map, and I'm gonna run them into the back of these settlements and basically make the enemy have to fight on multiple fronts. The Green Knight, though, has the benefit of being a magic, sorry, an ethereal character, so that should benefit me in the sense that...
Battle ready.
Oh man, look, they got all these dark shards back here. I freaking hate dark shards. I'm gonna get after the dark shards, let the Green Knight keep fighting up front. I have some infantry headed up and in. We'll go support this fight. And then let's bring up our damsel. Our damsel should be able to crush this blob. No, she doesn't have the, what do they call it? Something. Dwellers Below. We don't have Dwellers Below. That sucks, because that would have been amazing right here. Oof. More dark shards. Yeah, the number of dark shards here is way too high. I'm not thrilled about it, but we're doing okay. Over here, we're doing okay. Let's use the old Opal Amulet. Kinda buff our guys up. We should be able to get through here. Man, the Green Knight taking way more damage than I thought he would. But we can put a regrowth on him. He should recover most of that. Alright, I've got reinforcements making their way in. I'm going to try and spread those reinforcements forward. Yeah, Green Knight's going to get his hit points back here. Alright, I'm spreading infantry out as it enters, and I'll be able to put pressure forward. Our cavalry has arrived and taken over a capture point. I'm just going to crush that spear unit there. We've got more cavalry units making their way in. And I'm going to actually move over here first, the other side of that. Yep, Green Knight's good. He got a little bit roasted at first. I'm going to do a heal right up here. And then when I get the chance, I'm going to regrowth the Green Knight again just to make sure he stays consistent. Alright, we are starting to dumpster the Druchi. Things are looking good. Capture points managed. They're sending Dread Spears over here after my Knights Errant, but they don't have enough Dread Spears to overwhelm me. So they're going to continue to falter. Alright, let's push these units forward. Battle Pilgrim's doing well. I'm going to actually help out a little bit right there. We should get a terror route there any moment. We just took another capture point here. I'm going to send one of these units up here. Two, actually, just in case. So, there we go. We're about to break through there. Let's get another regrowth onto the old Green Knight. We're struggling a little bit on this Dread Spear because we didn't bust through him on the charge, but we should be able to rectify that here shortly. And this barricade is down, so the Druchi are screwed now. And I'm gonna go hit these dark shards where it hurts.
Paladin of Bretonnia. Orders? I am your man.
Yes!
Questing knights.
Alright, sweet. Alright, so the dark shards are done at this point because they have nothing left to protect them. And then I am moving into all the capture points as well, so I am gonna swing the... I don't know how these Dread Spears are still alive. This is kind of a sick joke. It's not really a funny one. I mean, they are utterly and hopelessly surrounded. Not to mention, I've picked up 3 capture points almost now. Yeah, 3, which means my attack's going to be significantly increased. Get over here and help finish this up. Awesome. Alright, let's recharge here. Green Knight, use his special ability. There we go. Finish that up. Another capture point gonna fall to us. Dread Spear's down. We can now go get the Sorceress. And we can come over here and kill these dark shards that are trying to get us. Alright. So we have the map pretty well controlled. And that is going to be a sound defeat of the Druchi at the Sentinels of Zeddy. So Alberic continues to steamroll them. And there's very little that they can do about it at the moment. Now, I'll tell you what they could do about it is get a really good army put together with HeirofCarthage, chock full of single entity monsters, and that could change things and make things significantly more difficult. I'll see you all back on the map. Alright, one more comment here. This one from Michael, who says, I'm learning so much from watching your videos. Usually if the auto-resolve says I'm going to be defeated, I just don't try, but you killed the Vamps with that army. That's insane and inspiring. Yeah, there are times when you can win, and there are people who are better at it than me who can win in some situations that even I can't. But what I would say is I can win in many situations against the AI where the auto-resolve says you can't. Not all. And honestly, sometimes there's times where the auto-resolve says you can win, and that would actually end up being really difficult as well. So I think I've just played the game enough at this point that I can usually make a decent judgment on when I should or shouldn't believe the auto-resolve. I'm not perfect at it. No one is. But like I said, hopefully that does help you. And then we had another comment similar to that one that came from MD Long here, who said, I love watching you play the campaigns. You're really the only one I watch consistently. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. He says, I also love watching your battles against the AI. You consistently know how to win. You should put together a composite of several of your greatest battles. Well, that one that I put on my channel recently was a good one. I've won some really big ones. Like I won one with Marathi against like 5 or 6 Bretonnian armies once on that campaign that I showed a while back. Those were fun. I think the key to beating the AI in mass like that is, number one, having the right tools in your army. Some of that depends on whether or not you can afford that in the campaign, but once you're able to afford it, making sure that you're building armies that are really capable, right? Armies that can tank and dish damage, and the most effective armies are going to be the ones that can kill from range and with magic. And funny enough, that's actually not something Bretonnia is very good at. They're not particularly good at killing with magic, and they're not particularly good at killing from range. And so Bretonnia is a bit different in that. But with them, at least what I've come to find so far is that once you upgrade your knights enough on the tech tree and with your lord, they do become incredibly powerful tools at your disposal to cause tremendous damage to your enemies. And you have to use that to your advantage, which is good, you know, because that should be the advantage that Bretonnia has, which is the knights. So to me, it feels like it kind of is the way it should be. Whew, that's expensive upgrade. Let's go ahead and end our turn first. Get a lord not moved. Okay, Lewin is waiting in an ambush, so I intend not to move him. There's a lot of vampires building up at the fort, so I do expect to see them come on down to visit here soon, especially if I spend money to continue to upgrade Marienburg. That will be too much, and I believe it will effectively lure them in. But yeah, so I'm glad that helps you all. I mean, I'm definitely not perfect at the game. There are people out there who are better than me and who even make a lot more videos than me. But I appreciate those of you who enjoy it. I enjoy playing it, and I do feel like I've learned a lot over the years, though I'm not going to sit here and claim that it makes me some kind of like amazing expert or something. It just means that I feel like I have a pretty solid grasp of the game. So here's, speaking of big battles coming up, we've got another one here. This one should be interesting. The vampires coming at us. I'll save this for the next episode, though, so I will see you all then. HeirofCarthage, signing out.